We obsess over AG. I like it's a hardware problem. More compute, better algorithms. Whoever gets there first wins. I've spent 25 years in enterprise technology. I've seen every arms race play out the same way. But here's what nobody's asking. What if general intelligence isn't about processing power at all? What if the missing piece is something we've had all along, and we're not even looking at it? I use AI every day. It's exceptional at cognition. Pattern matching, analysis, prediction, all superb. But walk into a meeting running late. Before anyone looks up, you know something's wrong. Shoulders tight, no eye contact. The air feels heavy. You haven't processed data, you haven't run inference, you just absorbed the entire temperature of the room in under 2 seconds. We almost never talk about that when we talk about AGI. There's a philosopher named Michael Polanyi who nailed this. He said we can know more than we can tell. You walk into a room and know the temperature without checking a single number. You sense tension, you feel momentum, you read intent. That's not data processing, that's pattern recognition we don't even know we're doing. We run it constantly, effortlessly, without explanation. A machine doesn't have that layer, and we're not sure how to give it one. So what is tacit knowledge exactly? It's the operating system nobody can see. The implicit layer we all run on, absorbed, sensed, acted on, but never articulated. You won't find it in a handbook. A parent at a playground isn't calculating risk. They're just sensing it. A CEO walks into a room and every shoulder shifts. Nobody announces it. It just happens. And because we can't explain these behaviors, we can't convert them into training data. We know more than we can tell, and that's the gap machines can't cross. Not yet. This is the disconnect that breaks the whole AGI conversation. We test machines on reasoning, on planning, on abstraction. The benchmarks are all cognitive. But real competence at work? It's reading a room before anyone speaks. It's knowing your role without being told. It's shifting your tone mid-sentence because something changed in the air. We're measuring intelligence with cognition tests, while human competence runs on something else entirely. And that gap? We don't even have a name for it yet. Think about a single morning. You wake up as a parent getting 3 kids ready. Then you're a passenger on a train, trusting a driver you've never met. You walk into the office. Suddenly, you're the junior colleague deferring to your boss. 10 minutes later, same room, you're the team leader making the call. Not one of those shifts required a manual. You just knew. You sensed the context, read the room, adjusted your behavior instantly. That's tacit knowledge at work. And we have no idea how to teach that to a machine. You don't become a different person in each context. You just instantly become whatever the moment demands. The parent at breakfast is not the same self as the manager in the boardroom. Same brain, completely different state of being. Navigating that isn't IQ, it's something else entirely. And we have no benchmark to measure it in machines. An AI can watch a recorded meeting and tell you who spoke, who stayed quiet, who interrupted. Easy enough, but it completely misses the loaded silence, the invisible risk in the air, the fact that saying the same sentence to 2 different people carries wildly different social cost. Trust is built over years of shared context. The AI wasn't there for any of that history. It can analyze the room. It just can't feel it. So we test whether an AI can pass the bar exam, whether it can mimic a voice. Fine. But the real question is whether a machine can reliably participate in human social reality, whether it can jump across contexts over months or years and actually be held accountable for its impact. That's not a standardized test. That's a completely different architecture, and we don't have a roadmap for building it. But let's pivot to some hard data, because we should test this. Cursor, an AI coding tool, ran an experiment. They left autonomous agents alone for a week to build a web browser from scratch. The result? Over 1 million lines of code. Unsupervised. Not perfect, but absolutely staggering in volume and independence. So here's the question. Does that prove the social layer doesn't matter? Or does it prove the opposite, that we can now automate everything except the layer that actually makes work? McKinsey is already running 25,000 AI agents alongside 40,000 human employees. That ratio is absurd. Their target? Every single employee enabled by at least 1 agent within 18 months. This isn't a pilot. This isn't 5 years out. This is happening right now, at scale, inside one of the most influential consulting firms on the planet. So the question isn't whether agents can work. It's whether we're ready for what happens when they do. And the funders? They're not being subtle about where this ends. A TechCrunch survey of enterprise VCs points to 2026 as the tipping point. That's when agents stop being productivity boosters, your very smart spell checker, and start actually doing the work. Not assisting, doing. The investors writing the checks are already betting on that timeline. The question is whether your organization is. So everything we've covered assumes people keep working in rooms, reading faces, navigating tension. But here's the twist nobody's naming. Maybe AI doesn't need to learn how to read the room. Maybe the room itself is disappearing. If work moves to where agents already operate, asynchronous, distributed, mediated through text and AP is, then the social layer isn't the final frontier. It's just optional infrastructure we're about to root around. Remote work split the room into boxes on a screen. Async communication scattered us across time zones. Now AI drafts the emails, summarizes the meetings, mediates the entire interaction. Those micro-expressions we spent 10,000 years learning to read, they don't survive the codec. And here's the part that should worry you. Half the people in your Slack channel might already be agents. The other half are just permanently on mute. We optimized presence right out of existence. When you look back at past technology shifts, there's a terrifyingly logical pattern. Every huge leap destroys the context that made an old skill valuable. GPS didn't learn navigation the way humans do. Stars, landmarks, spatial memory. It just made human navigation irrelevant. Calculators didn't master mental math. They made it unnecessary. So if we follow that pattern, maybe AI won't learn human presence. It might just make it obsolete. This points to a huge blind spot we have with new technology. We're pretty good at predicting first-order effects. Pocket computers, obviously. But second and third-order effects? We're notoriously bad at those. Almost nobody predicted those pocket computers would completely rewire modern dating through swipe apps, or that glowing screens would fundamentally alter childhood development and global attention spans. We see the tool. We miss what the tool does to the room. So if we flood our social reality with AI, and we have to name what breaks downstream. We might genuinely lose the ability to read rooms, not because the skill disappeared, because we stopped practicing it. Trust becomes exponentially harder when you can't tell if the person on the other end is even real. And human social roles, they face structural collapse when half the room isn't human and nobody knows who's supposed to lead. The paradigm shift is so big we don't even have words for it yet. We might actually need a new discipline just to study this. AI sociology, machine anthropology, something to explain human behavior when half your conversations are with code, or when you realize you haven't been in a physical shared space with your team in 6 months and nobody noticed. We're not just changing tools, we're changing what it means to be in a room together. I'm not saying AGI is never going to happen. The tech is moving faster than I can keep up with, and I've spent 25 years doing this. But if we define true general intelligence as the ability to navigate human social reality, to actually feel the unspoken, to carry accountability across months and years, then maybe AGI isn't just a software milestone. Maybe it requires a physical body, personal stakes, real relationships that can break. Maybe it requires being a person among people. The question isn't whether AI will learn to read the room. The question is whether we'll still need rooms at all. Either we teach machines something we can't even explain to ourselves, or the world restructures around what machines already do, and that layer of human sensing just quietly becomes optional. I don't know which future we're building, but I know we're choosing right now. Follow for more.